Okay. So tell me, how are you building a platform for scaling this? Because it's an interesting uh, point that you made that obviously these need to scale, right? So therefore, if this needs to scale, what's your learning platform like, and what are the ways in which you're thinking of the components of this learning platform, and how are you using technology for enabling this learning platform so that it can scale? Because it's a very, very important, I would say, direction that you are taking. You're almost moving almost a 180-degree, opposite direction that you are taking in how we have to learn. So, if you were to do that, as you rightly said, there are assets, skills, tools, methodologies which are there. So, how are you building all of this as a part of this platform or technology that you're talking?
So we are building something called Zippy, which internally we call our micro school in a box. Uh, so fundamentally, our guiding North Star principle is it should enable personalized learning and allow us to have visibility into this process. So everything and anything that allows for this. Now there's the added context that we are in a world where learning resources are there's an abundance of them. The world's best resources for learning anything is they're now on YouTube, right? So there's channels like Three Blue One Brown, which is exceptional if you want to learn any math concept. There's Veritasium for anything that's on the engineering side. You have all of those and exceptionally engaging. So it's not about just collating these resources, right? That's the old world. So an LMS will say, okay, here are video lectures, here are a set of
What are the resources you said is available on YouTube? Can you repeat that once more?
the two channels that I mentioned specifically are Three Blue One Brown. That's a math channel. Then there's Veritasium. Both are super popular. Veritasium takes some interesting concepts from our world. It could yes something like okay, so how complex is it to learn to balance a bike, for instance, right? And then really does a deep dive into that and shows us how what we take for granted actually involves a fair amount of skill and understanding, intuitive understanding of physics, for instance. Three Blue One Brown is a math channel which dives into topics like calculus, and because of their love and passion, and of course their expertise in doing this, they're exceptional. I don't think that anyone teaching this offline. I mean, the greatest teachers probably can come close, but this is multi-sensory teaching, right? It's exceptional. This is all there. It's all out there. So our job is not to just simply curate this and say just go ahead and go through those. It is to focus on something more fundamental, right? Where are they right now? What are their attitudes like? The attitudes toward learning become so much more important than the resources for learning. That's still there, but our management system has to say, okay, so we have to be able to finally understand where each kid is, and that requires gathering a large set of data for each kid. What are their days like? If you have a group activity, for instance, what was that activity like? What did we as facilitators learn from that? So we actually have a system where each facilitator can actually make observations about each kid, about each group activity. They can use their voice or use text. It gets automatically recorded. Then at the end of the month, the end of the year, we actually synthesize these, create holistic reports. So that's part of the system. The other part is then allowing us to plan. Now, as I said, so it's not all about letting the kids off on this vast landscape and saying, okay, just go explore and we will be sitting. It's coming up with, so we learn based on our context, right? So, for instance, no kid in India is going to be interested in baseball because baseball is non-existent. Every boy now, if he's a girl, a lot of girls are interested in cricket as well because that is our context. It's what we are exposed to. So what we're exposed to matters. So our choice then is to figure out what the kids' interests are, then find interesting things, interesting experiences that we can invite them to participate in. So that's the planning aspect, right? And the way we do that is, now this ties into some fundamental learning if it is again. Anything and everything can be explored in absolutely any level of detail, right? So if you take an apple, right? An apple is a portal into history. An apple is a portal into economics. An apple is a portal into math. An apple is a portal into color. Everything is embedded in that. You can explore all of this. So therefore, the world does not lack for things that we can get the kids to be interested in. It is more about, okay, so understanding, okay, what are they interested right now? Let's say they're very interested in music. It also happens to be the monsoons. They're interested in the rains and what's happening in the city. Tying those things together and finding activities around them. It could be worksheet-based activities. It could be science projects. It could be other things. So this requires planning, right? So every month we have a theme based on what the kids are interested in, what the facilitators think the kids would like. For instance, this month it's gardens and gardening, right? Based on what we saw the kids were. Now this again, as I said, is a portal into everything, right? So you can actually explore biology, chemistry, everything through this. The question is, what can we curate as a set of experiences? This takes a lot of work, right? So this you could, if you're a homeschooler, you're sitting alone, the mom or dad can then spend a lot of time doing that. But the moment you have 10 kids, right, figuring out how to find something that's interesting for all of them and for a different ability levels, that's a lot of work. And we are building tools again to help with this, right? For instance, like if you have a theme idea, can we tie the theme idea with all the observations we made about our kids, with what all the competencies that we want to explore, and automatically come up with certain suggestions as to what can be done. So these are the sort of things that our system enables. So what we're doing now in the 2 years that we've been running this is to first do this manually, right? So first, okay, how do we do this? Let's do this the hard way. Then we do that and then realize, okay, these are the efficiencies that are possible in this, right? So if you're going to be able to create a theme, we know that there's a series of 15 steps.
Correct.
And 12 of those can be automated, right? That crucial step is now missing. Alternative schools are not scaled because no one has taken that step and saying that, you know what, human creativity is absolutely crucial, but there's so much that we can automate, help accelerate with the right use of technology. That's what we are